So much for coming. There's so many of you, and this is so staggeringly beautiful. I hadn't thought of this at all when the Anil and Literature Live invited me. So thank you. Really, this is amazing. Taj Lands End, thank you. The team at HarperCollins. This is just phenomenal. You know, the sort of opium for the unwashed masses. And there were very few of us doing studio rounds. There were no minders, there were no managers. We would go into Film City and just go from set to set. I mean, it's unthinkable now, the layers we have to go through to access any celebrity. So it's become a space where we're really consumed. Our minds and our media is really consumed by films, but more by celebrity journalism. You know, I was reading an article in HuffPo, and the first line was, celebrity journalism is like crack. Americans are addicted to it. So are we, frankly. You know, it's everywhere. I think film celebrities especially have become sort of omnipresent entities. You know, they're always on. If they're not on a screen, they're on television, or they're in an ad, or they're on a dance show, or they're cutting a ribbon. And it's interesting for us to think about what are the rules now, you know, when so much of what you do depends on access to the same 10.5 people. I mean, there's lots of my journalist friends here, and we all know the 10.5 people we're all chasing every single day. So what are the ethical implications of that? What are the rules of that? How do you create engaging conversations when in a sense, celebrities have become what an American film critic, Richard Schickel, called intimate strangers. We just know too much about them. You know, we know that Aditya Roy Kapoor fired his driver because he was rude to his parents. I mean, why do I need to know this? You know, it's become slightly surreal almost. So in that environment, what is the role of a responsible journalist? What is a responsible film journalist? What is the role? And how do we create conversations that have depth, that have shelf life, and that add something to your lives as viewers of film, as consumers of films, and as you know, people who are interested in these people. So should I invite people up, or you'll do it? So I'm going to invite my partner in crime, Rajeev Masand. Rajeev and I are both in this kind of weird space. So we're both film critics and we're both film reporters. And so we end up doing these interviews, and then the next week, we end up slamming the movies. And, you know, Saif Ali Khan once said to me, you know, I do this chat with you, and you're laughing, and I'm having such a good time. And then the next week, I see your review, and I'm like, damn, I thought she liked me. So, Rajeev, is it hard for you? How do you negotiate it?
It is. It's insanely hard. You try to be entirely sincere to both jobs separately. You try to, when you're doing an interview, you try to create an engaging interview, you try to have an engaging conversation, and when you're doing the review, you try to just look at it objectively and not be, you know, consumed by the fact that you know this person, you've known this person, or that the person has put in a lot of work, because everyone puts in work, right? Even the worst films, I mean, there's been love and effort put into them, but it's hard, and I'm sure that biases creep in. You try for that not to happen, but you can't please anyone. So that list of how many people stop talking to you because they're doing interviews with you, but then you slam their film next week, that list has grown very long. That's our little secret, right? Just the actors that you see not appearing on our shows for too long when they don't have a release, it's because they're not talking to us.
Well, I'll tell you, Akshay Kumar doesn't talk to me. Does he talk to you?
No.
So Rajeev and I saw Rowdy Rathod in London, and we both just hated it. And we never exchanged notes, okay? It's a professional...
We actually sat in different rows.
Yeah, we sat in different rows, and we don't ask each other because that will invariably influence the other person. And then we look at our reviews, and 1 star, 1 star from Rajeev, 1 star from me. And the director was Prabhudeva, who then I interviewed about a year later. Yeah. Okay, and he said, Madam, I remember your Rowdy Rathod review, and I was like, damn, he's going to say something. You know, he's on my set, I'm his host, he's a guest. And he said, now you dance, I will review. I thought that was outstanding.
I ran into Prabhudeva at a cinema hall. I actually saw him and I ignored him because I knew he's going to ignore me.
Right, so you're ignoring
I said, let me not go close. He came up to me and said, you saw me. Hello. You know, some of them are nice. Some of them can take it.
Now, Arunabh, of course, is the next level of celeb journalism. He is doing these incredible comedy sketches, through the viral fever. There's one very funny one. So he does, it's Barely Speaking. It's called Barely Speaking, and it's on YouTube. And if you go there, now what's amazing is that he's getting celebs to hire him to mock them. They don't talk to us. They hire
has been
him.
contacting us. I think he definitely wants to do something with us.
Akshay has been contacting.
He's lost 2 big journalists from him.
No, but one sketch they did with Shah Rukh Khan. They have Biswapati, who's the comic who's imitating Arnab
Who's the
Goswami.
real Arnab?
Who's the real Arnab? And so he's asking Shah Rukh, how many awards have you won? And Shah Rukh says, some 200 something. How many of those have you bought? And Shah Rukh very seriously says, the first 150. After that, they started paying me. And this is all part of the script that these guys are writing. So has the definition of celebrity changed? Have they changed?
See, I think change has definitely happened because 10 years back, we wouldn't have started this event if the central chair was empty. But now we have, so I think definitely... So I think that has definitely been one of the most important changes, and everybody is cool, and I think the guest is going to be very cool that, okay, I was late. So change has definitely been there. I come from a very small town called Muzaffarpur. It still has no electricity, and so I have very vague memory of movie journalism, like how Anu was saying. So in any of our friends in our mohalla or colony, if they started buying Kingstar or Mayapuri or Screen Magazine, we knew that he was hitting puberty. So I think...
Hello.
Hello, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Thank
Come on.
you. Hello, sir.
See, how are you? Very good to see you.
Hello, hi, nice meeting you.
So Kangna, we've just started and we're talking about celebrity journalism.
Okay. Enlighten me on that a little bit.
So Arnab, you...
Okay, so good evening, everyone. Sorry, I'm a little late, I guess.
No, I think that's the discount that you get for being a celeb in India, I think. So I was just, I think what has changed majorly would be this medium. I think the most important thing that we need to acknowledge is the power of this new medium, which
is digital?
Which is digital, which is internet. I think that technology per se has really changed a lot of things. We have to first acknowledge that, because initially also people used to sit in their colony and make fun of people or may not like or dislike a celebrity, but now they do it on a medium which comes back to you. So people used to criticize, like, dislike, comment every time. Even our fathers used to do that, grandfathers used to do that, but now we have a fascinating technology which throws it back to your face.
And it's not a good feeling,
Yeah.
trust me.
So I think that is what has really been the crux and the root of the change, that it all comes back to you and it's just instant. So one bad tweet and somebody is replying to you and firing away. So
But Kangna, you are not on Twitter.
Yeah, because
Why
I'm
not?
very sensitive. I can't really take all of that, especially, and also I think it's not easy to be, where we are. There's so much work pressure, and there's so many expectations, and I don't know about others, but I started very young, and like I told you in my interview, that I am very I'm sensitive and I take criticism very seriously. Like, I wouldn't really believe that people can do it for fun also. Like, for me, it's like a proper feedback. Okay, so you really said that I look like a bitch. So you, like, what are the, like, from which angle? So, I would take it really seriously and would want to make it a constructive thing for me and my personality and the work that I do. So if people are doing it for fun, or to be nasty, or just because they are having a bad day, I can't deal with that. So I think there are all kind of people out there, and I don't have to know everyone. It's okay.
But, Kangna, and we showed them a clip, Kangna, clippings from the front row, and that interview where she talked about how you don't prepare women like trained dogs to be given away in marriage.
That interview went viral. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a part of social chatter for a long time.
For a long time.
Yeah.
That was the single most successful interview we did in 2 years.
And the best part was that when it went viral, the tagline or the headline was that you won't believe who said that. Like, I was like, why would I be the last person who could talk like that? You know, they were like, the actress spoke, and you won't believe who the actress is. And I'm like, you know, they definitely don't have the impression of me that I have of me. So there was
There's a disconnect there.
bit of a revelation.
No, but I think the credit for that really goes to you, because she spoke very honestly about the struggles of being an actor. You know, she talked about sitting on a set all day, or on a film like Double Dhamal, or you know, one of the not so great projects that she's done, and why you would need to do it. And she was very funny, and she said, well, once you're a semi-famous person, you can't exactly go away and be an intern at a magazine. You know, you're a semi-famous intern.
Engineer, because you know, she was there in 2 movies and now she can't do it.
But you know, I will not take credit for that interview, Anu, seriously, and we spoke about it. Also because around that time I was promoting Krish, and that was actually a promotional interview for that film. And when the interview went viral, the messages that started to come in, I was confused about the interview people were talking about. I didn't know it's your interview. They were like, oh, we saw this and the depth of your personality. I'm like, okay, fine. When the phone calls and the messages became very serious, like 100 messages a day or things like that, and I'm like, what did I say? And I said, this is the interview with Anu, and Anu doesn't ask you, like really sensational questions, and you know, she doesn't really get into that. So I said, what did we say? I don't really remember anything, you know. But when I went through that again, I realized that she, for the first time, there was, you know, an interviewer who was wanting to know me, like really me, not the person or the perspective people have of me. Like, she was interested in exploring the human being I was, and I had so much fun talking about it. Like, I am usually very agitated when I'm on stage or in any interview.
Now?
Very. But in that interview, I couldn't believe we were having these really free-flowing conversations, and I was a bit, you know, like, you know, it was a learning experience that could also be an interview first, when you're, you know, so happy to talk about things that people generally don't talk about. You know, who's interested in those kind of questions? And then it went viral. So that was the, you know, like, for me, I've never had an experience like that before. But that changed a lot for me. Like, people, like I said, they couldn't believe the actress it was.
But Rajeev, how do we, as interviewers, you know, honestly, that